Namaste, viewers, and welcome to Amazing Vedas with Dr. Parikshit Singh. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for joining us. I will request you to read one of your tweets in a moment, so I'm glad you have your phone handy. But,
Yes.
I thought we had a very interesting discussion just now on Dhyana and Dhi and its interrelationship. So, once again, while we were discussing this, and also since last night, I tried to do a bit of research on this, and I found out that in the Samhita, what we really call the Rig Veda Samhita, the main mantras and the riks of the Rig Veda, you don't quite find the word dhyana. You keep finding the word dhi, as we just mentioned. So I asked AI, I tried to ask, can you please tell me where dhyana starts appearing? And it does come in the oldest Upanishads, among the oldest Upanishads, among which is Chandogya. And of course, we all know that the Vedas also include the Upanishads, right? The Upanishads are towards the end, of the Vedic corpus. That's why they are called Vedanta, as Dr. Singh has already explained in an earlier episode. And then I found, Chandogya Upanishad 761. And what was so incredible about this, and I will read this out. The Rishi says, Dhyanam Vav Chittad Bhuyah, And then, in other words, he's saying dhyana indeed is greater than chitta. That is so amazing, because chitta, in a sense, of course, in the Vedas, you can flip it and you can actually even say chitta is greater than dhyana. It all depends. But, and the Rishi is going to explain, so I'm going to read the next line, but he's actually saying that, chitta is something that's always flowing, but dhyana is something that holds that chitta, right? And in that holding of attention, something incredible happens. And this is what the Rishi is saying. He says, Dhyayativa Prithvi, Dhyayativa Antariksham, Dhyayativa Dhyoha. Wow. So he's basically saying the earth itself seems to meditate. The heavens, seem to meditate. The space, Antariksham, seem to meditate. And you can actually see it at Sandhyakal. Even right here in our beautiful, you know, Florida counties of Hernando or, Citrus, Homosassa, you see the river and the sun goes down on Palm Beach or on the river, on the Gulf, and the earth seems to meditate. The sky seems to meditate. So I found that so wonderful that, it's not only human beings who are meditating. We can learn from the earth and the sky how to go still, how to hold one's attention. And then what Patanjali is saying, Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and what the Gita says, stop the wavering mind, let it be like a still flame. It happens automatically, naturally. You don't have to pull the thoughts back. What do you think, Dr. Singh?
Yes, absolutely. That is very well pointed out. I don't have much to add to it. You have really given the essence of it. And it's just a fabulous statement that you made. So my brain is in Dhi right now. The earth meditating, the space meditating, the mental sky meditating, which is Dhyau. It is fabulous, and it is just such a beautiful statement, because we identify consciousness with our own mind, but
Exactly.
the physical world, this loka, what has its own consciousness inherent. It is, but if this world were not intelligent, then we would not be here as the beautiful coming together of various energies, cells, chemicals, materials, ingredients, and then this name and form, this pinda, becomes a whole, a complete being, pind and, as they call it. What a fabulous consciousness that is inherent in this world. And there is a tremendous intelligence, intuition. It is not mental intelligence, it is a different kind of dhyana. but
Yeah,
it is
exactly.
there.
When they used to say that you should do, your Sandhya Vandanam and all. So they had thought about this, that there are these times,
Yes,
when the earth and the sky, they seem to come together. It happens in the morning. They say it happens at noon. Then it happens in the evening around sundown. What they used to call Godhuli time, when the cows come
Godhuli.
back
Yes,
home,
yes,
literally, kicking up dust with their hooves as they come back from foraging in ancient times. And then at midnight. And frankly, many a time, without actually wanting to, I have found myself being quiet, going quiet at these times. So they had thought through this, the ancients. In the mornings, it's so evident, things are so quiet, it was, uh, you know, uh, you know, as Sri Aurobindo says in Savitri, it was a time before the gods awake. There is that time just before, the sun comes blazing out, when the ushas, as it were,
yes, yes.
driving the chariot of the sun. And then at high noon, you've even got Western movies on high noon. There's no shadow, everything is blazing, and then it's very quiet just before that gunfight at OK Corral or wherever. in that
Yeah, Sri Aurobindo has a very powerful line, and he describes this experience. The high boughs prayed in a revealing sky, and he says, it's a letter, and I'm going to paraphrase it. That he was when he was in Gujarat, he had this constant sense that the trees were praying, the trees were aspiring, and their consciousness was reaching up. And then he writes that. So because I think maybe Amal Kiran had a question about why did he write the high boughs prayed in a revealing sky, and he said that. So it jives, and it just connects a few ancient memories of poetic lines. How beautiful! It's a Vedic line.
It is a
So
Vedic line. In fact, that
yes,
that poem, that tree poem, is so profound
yes,
because it talks about the roots in the ground, but the boughs stretching skywards. And Sri Aurobindo says that is the soul of man. That is the spirit
yes,
of man. He writes it there. We are earthbound. We are grounded in the earth, as it were, and yet our consciousness is aspiring to go heavenward. And then, if you go to the Gita and the Upanishads, you actually know why Sri Aurobindo said it, because actually creation was the reverse of that. The roots are in the sky
that's right.
and the branches are below.
That's right.
And so the world that we see, this material world, is only an inversion of that, the world of higher consciousness from which we descend. And all I was trying to say about these so-called sandhis, the time of union, the natural coming together, the natural confluence, the natural, convergence. The reason I brought this up is that, meditation is supposed to be so much effort, but actually it's effortless. If you really look at it, it can be effortless. And because, we are being taught by the sky, by the trees, by the animals, by the birds, and we are a part of nature. We are not, you know, either the masters of the universe, as some people believe. Not at all. We are very much a part of everything around us. Nor are we creators. We are not creators. We are a part of creation, as it were. So I just thought that these auspicious times, and it's very quiet even at midnight, and things
Yes,
become very lucid. Sometimes we have moments of the highest lucidity around midnight. I mean, most of the people in the house are asleep, the birds are quiet, the trees are sleeping, and you awaken. Tasyam Jagrati, as Sayami, as Bhagwan says, in chapter 2 of the Gita, that the day of the bhogi is the night of the yogi.
yes,
Vice versa, and the night of the
that's
bhogi,
right.
yeah, is the day of the yogi. So, tasyam jagrati sayami. So, these are thoughts I had, but I turn it back to you for your concluding observations on dhi and dhyo yona and dhyana. how all of this connects somehow to our present condition, which in which we are so distracted, so distorted, so disturbed. I'm using the D in the
Right.
contrary fashion to the the.
Yeah, and it's interesting. The sound is a splitting sound. The. Sri Aurobindo has written very in a beautiful essay on the root sounds, and the is a dashing sound. He calls it a dashing sound, and from that come all the splitting, duality, duo, dala, leaves. All these the sounds come from it. But the
Dalana, Dalana, Dalit.
dalit, yes, yes, dala is actually the leaves, right?
No, also it
And
is
then
grinding, dala, like dal.
yes, that's right,
Dal is
that's
something
right.
that has been ground and
Yeah,
crushed. So you're
yes,
absolutely right. And then, yeah, duality, diablo, as you keep telling
yes,
us,
devil,
devil.
the devil. And then comes the. Of course, that sound doesn't exist in English, but the is suddenly now the splitting has stopped, the movement has stopped, and just holds. And of course, the vocalization changes, the vibratory change. There's a ghoshavat, and then
Aspiration, aspirate.
aspirational. Yes, that's right. And
Which is
so
exactly what
that's
we are. We are all aspirational.
it's so yeah, absolutely. And he starts coming together in a different way when you realize that you think you are holding things in awareness. Well, actually you are being held in awareness, and that changes. That's a very interesting flip, that when you become effortless, you're no longer, it's not my attention that is holding things. I am being held in that attention. I've always been, it was just I individualized or personalized it. So in that concept, the way you described the sun, the sky meditating, the earth meditating, the earth is also holding dhara, dhyau there, the sky is holding, the mental space, everything is holding in that vast dharma. That's very beautifully described. And the Vedic understanding of dhi converting into dharma. If you look at the Gita, dharma keeps coming every chapter. Dharma comes and he keeps changing dharma until he reaches, of course, the highest dharma. So it's a very we see the progression of ideas through the great Vedic, if you may call it, the lineage or the flow coming from the beginning at the roots, and now it has started maturing. It would be a fascinating study someday. Some PhD of yours would like to do it.
Indeed, indeed. And we might, in fact, be so grateful and so, charmed and so enthused to find that the highest knowledge is actually at the tip of our tongues, you see, just to shift from the distortion, the disturbance, the distraction, and all the rest of it to Dhi
Yes,
and to Dhyana and ultimately to Dharma. So, with
yes,
these words, viewers, we wish you happy meditation and do like, share, and subscribe to our channel and wish us well as we wish you well in this journey of discovery and wisdom and Gnosticism together. Thank you, Dr. Singh. Namaste.